Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. What is going on? I've been in here chatting with you guys. I'm Miss Nini. Good morning. I see No Pants Bob has made it in. Crime Story Diva's in. Kamari, good morning. Slim's not playing bingo anymore because the snowbirds went back to Iowa, so more beer for Slim. Angel P made it in. I hope everyone is doing great. I have to apologize for yesterday. I thought it was a Wi-Fi problem. I was calling Cox Cable. My husband's calling me like, is everything okay? Good morning, Miracle. Good morning, Joy. And there was no outage. It was a StreamYard problem. So then I start the second stream. Okay, no harm, no foul, right? Well, it started being goofy on me again. So I just kind of let it speed up. And it seemed to sort itself out. So it's touch and go. So if you happen to see a problem on here, just wait. Just wait around because there'll be another problem right after it. You know how we get down around here. Good morning, Marguerite. How are you? Also, you know, I have this love-hate relationship with YouTube. We were really fighting last week. You know, some people lost wrenches and everybody was messaging me going, "What did I do? What did I do?" And I'm like, nothing. What did I do? YouTube. Yep. Kiki said, damn technology. Yesterday on the members tab, and this is a sensitive picture, YouTube took this down. And I've got a lot of people going, what happened to your picture? What happened to your picture? Okay. Not so fun fact. That's my arm. Okay, that's actually my left hand. Not this Sunday, the Sunday before the wedding. I was cooking ribs in a very flimsy pan. I got the grease on my arm. And, well, it is not feeling too good as of late. I've been trying to treat it myself, and you know how that goes. Well, YouTube doesn't give a shit about me because they took it down. They sent me an email and said, due to sensitive material. I'm like, they don't know us too well, do they? Because we're not that sensitive around here. We can throw down all day long. Rexy says, go to the doctor ASAP. I have been. Watching the doctors on Fox 23 Tulsa. I'm doctoring it myself, but it's getting very swollen, so I'm going to have to do something. It doesn't help when I'm trying to sleep and OJ's licking it and laying on me. Good morning, Chicka. How are you? Nufflin says, Brooks, you are too sensitive. I am sometimes. I am right now since the devil came to Oklahoma. Not just to get down, OJ. I'm not messing with you right now. Go over there. Get your bacon. Since the devil came to Oklahoma, and not just Oklahoma, about an hour south of me. All right, just lay down. Get over there. It is horrific. Now, News Nation, of course, is all over this. They're all over it. Beigefield is about to lose her beige shirt, and we wouldn't know the difference because she has a spray tan now. So it looks like she's beige from head to toe. Stop it. God damn it. As long as Coffin Daffer doesn't pop up on the show, I'm going to be okay. Now, what we have here, and I agree with the Oklahoman, that's a newspaper around here, this is a national embarrassment. I'm embarrassed, and I don't work for Okmulgee County. Good morning, Country Girls Life. I don't work for them, but I'm embarrassed for them. Negligence, sloppiness, not giving a shit. People say, oh, it's corruption and cover-up. No, it's pure laziness. If they were covering it up, they would have cleaned everything up and said, yeah, go on in there. We didn't find anything. Wendy said secondhand embarrassment. Yep. And I back the blue 100%, except for when they pull boners like this. Big time. OSBI, I have tons of faith in them. They've done amazing work in this state for many, many years. The FBI, well, because you kind of have to. I just don't trust them enough to do that 10-year challenge on Facebook, if you know what I mean. Wink, wink. Not going to help them do their damn job. So this is a miss. It's a miss. Misty said it's been this way in Okmulgee County for 20 plus years. They're corrupt as they come and they're lazy. Shoddy police work, negligent. You had this in your miss. Oklahoma Department of Corrections was giving him points for good behavior. For hygiene was one thing. Hygiene. Well, to me, all that went out the window when he had contraband in his cell. Now, I've had two stories. I've heard that they found the phone when he was in jail, and I've heard that this came out after. After would make more sense. For real. Good morning, Jinbug. Now what we have is a lot of rumors. And I mean a lot. Ivy Webster's father, Justin, who I have invited to come be on the show because he's fighting and he's fighting hard. I gave him some hell last week because I was like, it's very easy to do a check like this. My husband told me, he goes, it's not as user-friendly as you think. Not everybody knows about the website you're talking about. And that's true. Just try to give the benefit of the doubt a little bit. He was on the news last night. And he's saying a lot of this stuff that they're saying they found is not there. Was not there. There's no stack of Polaroids. He's saying there's no bloody toddler's clothing. None of that can be verified. And he was in the house as well. He didn't see any of that stuff. None of it. And he was in there before the second round of people. And he's certainly not going to cover anything up. He's been working really hard. He has started this Facebook group. It's, Elaine mentioned me in a comment. Beware Oklahoma Predators, Sex Offenders Quick Fact Sheet. It's a public group. He's naming, and basically, I mean, some people are saying this Facebook group is not a good idea because they're basically tracking people that are coming out of jail. Chika has a good point. It was under the floor. His point is, why would you look under the floor? Nobody has looked under the floor. I don't know. We'll get to that because obviously I wasn't there. I wasn't there. All right, so he's got this group going on. I just put it on the screen if you want to share that, join it, whatever. And it's really just a word to the wise warning that when certain people get out of the pokey, we need to know. We just need to know a little bit. So he's taken it upon himself to track all this stuff now. He also has started a petition. I don't know if he started it. I know that he's for sure sharing it. The Knight's Law to oppose Oklahoma sex offender sentencing and probation requirements. Sarah says, were they not supervising him at all? Define at all, Sarah. Define at all. I mean, you go to the door and Jesse's not home because he's using an address that doesn't have minor children at it, and you've got 49 others to monitor. So you go to check on the next one, and then you come back to him, and then you happen to catch him at home, and all looks good, and then you go on to number 47, then number 32, then number 31. Did they check to see where he's living? Again, criminals don't follow the law, Sarah. I wish they did. See, when people get out of jail, they're giving a laundry list of things that they are not supposed to do. So, this situation, Jesse was supposed to give an address and keep it updated. Well, that was done, but it's not the address he was living at with children in it. See, criminals don't care. Just like when they tell criminals, don't hang around other felons. Well, what do they find out? They're all hanging around them. Just like when you tell them you're not allowed to have a gun. Well, what's one of the main things they get rearrested for? They have a gun. That's how it always goes. If you guys want to sign this petition, I will put a link in here. I'm not asking you to. I'm just saying if you want to, there it is. They don't learn when they're in jail. And the home visits are unannounced. No one's going to make appointments, of course. They show up unannounced. But it's got to be the right house. You see, the criminals don't tell you that, hey, I actually don't live here. I live in another house with children. They don't do that. Snazzy, thank you. Snazzy says, family and friends come out of the woodwork when someone wins the lottery. Same is true in tragedies. Often playing victim in muddy waters of facts. I take it all with a grain of salt. Because you're a smart lady. You're a very smart lady. So what we're hearing, and it's a lot, may not all be 100% true. What we do know for facts is bad enough. Okay? What we know as facts is bad enough. This in the house, that's bad enough, right? That's pretty bad. That's just not something that you would have in your home. It's just not. This by a minor child's bed, that's pretty damn bad. This, I'm not sure where this exactly came from, and I'm afraid to ask. That's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. This monster on the screen, I can feel it from here. I can figure out why they had all the lubes and lotions. He had a certain hang on. Raspberry said, were those chains on a counter or floor? The floor. On the floor. Isn't that nuts? My God. JM says, I'm 42 and I don't know what half of that stuff even is. No. And I don't want to know. Obviously, his something from what I'm understanding of his no longer worked. Hence why we have all the toys around there. My God. My God. Okay, so let's go through the comments. So we're going to do a rewind about what came out about the toddler clothes and things like that. And I'm not calling anyone a liar. I'm just going through all the information and what they're saying now. So let's get to it. All right. Several names were brought up yesterday. Ghislaine Maxwell, Carla Homolka. I made a post in the members only on the community tab just saying, do you think Holly knew? I think we got to the bottom of that. Yes, Holly did know. Hence why on the petition, they have pictures of everyone except Jesse and Holly. Holly was the bait and switch girl. She was using her children and herself to gain trust, to feed them to Jesse. That is what I believe, and that's what it looks like to me. And here's the dealio. Whether we want to admit it or not, most crimes we can wrap our minds around. We understand them. We get what's going on. We don't excuse it. We don't sympathize with the perpetrator. We don't excuse it again, but we understand the 7 deadly sins. But this one, no, we don't get it. We don't get this at all. None of this makes sense. And you see, these two were partners in crime. I wouldn't be surprised if Holly wasn't the last one that he shot. She helped set up all the bodies and they went out together. This was a plan between the two of them. She wasn't ambushed by him. Let me put it that way. I wouldn't be surprised. Lisa Durr said, perfect example of a woman caring more for a man than her children. Makes me sick. For real, that's one way to put it. She's got the same sickness as him and used her own babies to feed it. Hillstone Ministry said, I wonder if Holly was in some of those pics and that's why she refused to say. Talking about her aunt that said she found all those Polaroids. That could be a reason because she was visibly upset about that. Visibly upset about it. And I think it's a lot to take in for Holly's mom, Holly's aunt, to have to come to the realization that she is sick in the head as well. You don't ever really know anybody. You don't. And sadly, sometimes you don't even know your own children. Casey said, a woman with low self esteem and self worth who scans databases for lonely inmates. She will do anything to keep a man, including offering her own children to the wolf. That's my assessment. She said, there is the case of Tori Stafford, victim, who has a desperate woman who goes along with a horrible crime just to keep her man. Gross. Yep. Horrible. Horrible. Bamaskin said, Brooksy, you don't just wake up one morning and decide to marry a convicted rapist and hook yourself up to a chain in the kitchen with elephant dongs. Come on. We all know what her involvement was. My question is more about the little children's clothing hidden. Why would he want to end his fun when she was all fine with it all? Something happened that weekend that was going to change everything that was going on. There's so much more to this story, and that's true. That is so true. She was feeding his perversion. She was feeding his sickness. She was feeding all of this. Something was about to end the party. And they went out in a blaze of glory. Why didn't she just tell him? Because see, she was getting ready to get caught on stuff too. Hence why she went with him, if you know what I mean. She was about to get caught on some stuff too. Is that why all the kids were taken out as well? Because she doesn't want her good reputation ruined when she's gone and they can tell what happened? We know he was due in court, but why the kids? Why the kids? I mean, if you're just that selfish and you're worried about a boy going to court, he could have just knocked himself out, if you know what I mean. But they all went together. Chloe said, how do women do this to their own children? Any children. You're a mom. You protect your babies. You do. You don't let old boy go to Ace Hardware and buy a bunch of hook and eyes and chains and shit and put it all around the house and let him tie your kids to it. No. No. You don't. Good morning, Alex. Good morning, Bonafide. No, you don't do that. And again, thank God for the OSBI, because they're going to have to figure out this entire circle. Whereas lazy asses in Okmulgee were like, well, what good's it going to do? I mean, dad is dead. There's nothing we can do. I can't arrest the old boy that did it. You know, he's in hell now and all that. No. Find out who they know. That landlord was in a big ass hurry to get all that stuff out of the house. He had no issue people going in there and taking it out themselves. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? One second. Jeannie said he had a court case that day. If he didn't show up for court, the police would have come looking for him. Yes, I'm very well aware of that. I'm very well aware of that. He also could have taken off in car to Arkansas, Kansas, the panhandle of Oklahoma, southeast Oklahoma. He could have gone to Texas. He could have gone to New Mexico. He could have gone down to the swamps of Louisiana and just started a new life and hid out. But they went out a different way. That's my question. It goes without saying he was going to be in trouble when he went to court. Other stuff was going on. It had to be covered up. It goes without saying. All right, so let's go back through what the aunt said And then I want to hear the response from Justin, who is Ivy's father.
More that could be found. But
and again, I was not there. I did not go through the house. I have no idea what's going on. We're just going back and forth through what they're saying. I was not there. I'm not calling anyone a liar. I'm not calling anyone out. We're just going through it.
how is it that you and your family were able to get back into that home and discover yet even more evidence?
On Friday, the landlord, as we were planning the funeral, notified us that we had 3 days to get on the property or everything was going to go in a dumpster this Monday. We stopped the funeral, and myself, Holly's godmother, and her godmother's daughter, just the three of us, went to the house. And we found 5 phones. We found a notebook ledger with the names. We just found other things, and that's the other family members come. The police came. Yeah, we found a lot of horrifying things. But
can you explain, Lynn, a little bit more about the ledger? Whose handwriting was it, and what was in the ledger?
All right, the landlord has got to be looked at. No, I'm not accusing him of anything. But to say, look, I understand no one was killed in the house that we know of. I don't know anything about this investigation. Because Beigefield says it, I don't know. I'm not really trusting this investigation right now, and I'm not going conspiracy theory on anybody. I have questions in my mind right now. Did old boy even really check out early? Did he really give himself a one-way ticket to hell? People like Jesse have other friends just like him. So for the landlord to say, I'm throwing all this crap away on Monday, so go in there and get it. Sweet Insanity said landlord wanted that stuff gone fast. Yeah. And what a simple bastard he is. How basic can you be? Were you not concerned about what was in the house? Did you not go check it out for yourself? Were you that trusting of Jesse and Holly that you didn't go in and look for yourself and see things like this? Because if you think you're just going to go and re-rent that house out in Henryetta, Oklahoma, you're out of your mind.
Just names and ages, like numbers. I didn't recognize, but I knew it was something important. We did turn over the police. The most probably disturbing evidence I found that day is I pulled the dresser out, and behind it was a towel with duct tape all around it, and I pulled it, and it was restraints, Velcro restraints, unlike the other restraints, which was laying all through the house. This one was taped to the back of the dresser. I asked the deputy that was on the scene if he wanted it. He said, this is not an active crime scene. It's solved. If you don't want it, put it in the dumpster. And I begged.
This is what the deputy told to you over the weekend. You found additional restraints that very well could have had DNA of potentially other victims on it.
I begged him, please take this. I said, please take this. It's not like the chains. They weren't laid out. They were taped behind a dresser. He said, the victims are dead. The perpetrator's dead. If you don't want them, ma'am, put them in the dumpster. I said, why would I want them?
What did you end up doing with them?
I put them in a garbage bag. On that day, we thought what we would do is hire a private investigator. I hid them in the house and we left.
I'm really surprised. I'm really surprised that Holly's family, which would have to be the aunt, because I don't see the grandma having the means to do it, would hire a private investigator. I don't think they want to know what's going to be dug up. Have a good day, Miracle. I don't think they want to know what that PI is going to dig up. But they were going to hire a private investigator. You're going to get hit with some hard truths if you do that.
I told by the police I had to leave or he was going to arrest me. When I asked for what, he said, we're not leaving. I was like, I have permission to be here. But we left and we returned the next day and nothing could prepare anyone for what we had to find.
Can you tell me a little bit more, Lynn, about what you found under the floorboards?
The first set of clothes wasn't in the floorboards. They were wadded up in the closet. The first pair I pulled out was just some bloody shorts. But the second, and to me, the dry blood was obvious, but it was the second pair of little underwear. The fluid was, yeah, we put those.
Maybe I'm just naive, but this reaction that she's having, I don't think this can be faked. She's visibly shaken about whatever she saw. She's visibly shaken. And let's face it, she's on News Nation showing her face. She's not behind an avatar with a name like Ladybug69. Everyone knows who she is. Something really shook her up.
Those in garbage bags. We went back to get as much evidence out before my brother and the grandmother got there. When the OSBI got there, I gave my interview and I said, no one should have to see what I say. No one had to collect what I had to. I'm not a crime scene investigator. I'm not a police officer. I should not have had to see those things. I'm not sleeping. I'm not eating.
And I agree. We said that yesterday. She should not have to see those things. You see, honestly, I think all of us would be fine walking into that house. Tiff would probably be taking selfies with the elephant dong going, look what I found. We'd all be okay. People who are not of this world should not walk into that house. They should not see these things. That is for trained professionals only. Only. Extra AF said, what's in the storage that Holly was renting? The jury's still out on that. I can't wait to find out what's going on with the storage. Jules said, your niece was involved, Auntie. Sorry to tell you. That could be part of the thing that's really shaking her up, too. Think about it. You been having Thanksgiving with a pedo and didn't know it? A week ago, they were advocating for Holly. Now they're coming to the realization that she was in on it. Slowly but surely.
OSCI was amazing, but that's just, there was just a lot of stuff that in time I really want to sit down and talk to someone about. I need to be sensitive to the victims, my own family members. Some don't even know. I stepped on a hypodermic needle. I got.
Lynn, can I ask you about the nature? I know this is extraordinarily difficult, but it is so critical, this evidence, because there may be other missing children out there.
Absolutely.
Can you tell me the nature of the Polaroids, the 4-inch stack of Polaroids?
There was a lot of pictures, not just Polaroids. I found probably 4 binders. They're about this thick. I started opening them up. The first thing was Jesse McFadden's psychological evaluation. Oh, I'm just trying to be so sensitive. I don't even know if I can publicly say some of the things that it can be on TV.
Okay, a lot of people are saying, I hope she went to the ER after stepping on that needle. Our friend Alex is in here saying that a friend of hers has been talking to the aunt. If you could get, I mean, we don't need to know her personal business, but if Alex could find out if she went and got treated for stepping on that needle, because that is scary. That would scare, that needle would scare me more than this on the screen. Because I'm telling you what, every time I see that picture, I clench. Can't do it. Uh-uh. Uh-uh. No way.
Oh, I don't know how to say it.
Were the pictures of children, and were they sexual in nature?
I don't want to talk about it. Okay.
I understand.
I promise.
Were you able to turn those photographs over to the police?
I turned everything I found. I turned over correspondence with other inmates. I turned everything over that I could find.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find.
God, that's scary. Leo said she's in shock and horrified. I would be too. Phantasmic says, I don't know why Beigefield even asked that. I know, and she needs to let people talk. This would be like me doing an interview. Honestly. Get some professionalism, Banfield. Don't be like me. God. All right, so Justin was on the local news last night. Justin is Ivy's father. He was on Channel 2, I believe it was. Let me look. Yep, Channel 2, KJRH in Tulsa. Glenjamin said, who did she turn it over to, local LE or OSBI? I hope the OSBI. Because if you gave it to the police in Okmulgee, they might just go throw it in Joe Kennedy's salvage up the road. They had no use for this crime scene. They said the guy that did it, we can't arrest him. He's with the booger man now, down in hell. We can't do anything with him. That's it, case closed. And they're like, whoa, hang on. Have you even looked at the hard drives? There could be a snuff film around here, if you know what I mean. Insane. Brown Eye says, what I'm afraid of, law enforcement didn't do the right thing if she gave it to them. Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of too. If she gave it to the wrong officer, not knowing who's who, wouldn't be her fault, but come on. They shouldn't have been in that house in the first place. God, they should have done their due diligence.
It's been 8 days since convicted rapist Jesse McFadden shot and killed Holly Guess, Tiffany Guess, Riley Allen, Michael Mayo, Brittany Brewer, and Ivy Webster outside this rural property near Henryetta. Justin Webster says he's angry over rumors and what he calls lies from other victims' family members.
You don't do that. It's sick.
Webster says talk of naked Polaroids and bloody underwear is not true. He's texting with investigators following leads.
We were unable to verify it was there and did not locate anything that matched that information.
Okay, we have a problem. If she found these things and she gave it to the investigators and they're telling Justin, we haven't been able to locate anything. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you. Thank you for gifting memberships, my friend. Thank you so much. Use them wisely, guys. We have a Mother's Day show coming up. So here's the thing. If the investigators are saying to him, we have no idea what she's talking about, but she's saying that she gave it to them, we have a problem. Now, I got nothing but love for Justin, but might not need to come right out and call them liars because she might have given it to Okmulgee County. Okay? Let's be fair here because we've had some problems in the last week.
Following leads.
We were unable to verify it was there and did not locate anything that matched that information.
There is a ledger with names. He and his wife found it when they entered the house before OSBI took over the investigation.
I went out to the deputy and I kind of tossed it at him and I said, here's a list. Now start your real investigation.
Webster briefly showed me a photo of it. All of the victims' names are not on it, as from other accounts. Holly Guess's name, a couple of others, and a few first names and dates.
Okay, so he took a picture of the ledger and he's showing it to Erin Christie. That's our news anchor here in Tulsa. I like how he said it. Here's a list of names. Now you can start your real investigation. Thank God. Thank God. Jeannie says, who is OSBI? Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation.
Briefly showed me a photo of it. All of the victims' names are not on it, as from other accounts. Holly Guess's name, a couple of others, and a few first names and dates. Over the weekend, investigators spent nearly 3 days combing through the more than 100 acres and areas of question.
They dug them up with an excavator and they found nothing. The ME left after, a bunch of rumors spread saying that they found more bodies, but they didn't find anything there.
However, inside the house, Justin was told they found more evidence and more electronics.
There was enough electronics in that to run an underground sex ring.
The Webster family's focus now, pushing for harsher punishments for child sex crimes.
And he said it. He said it. There was enough electronics in there to run this underground sex ring. Now, he's getting a lot of hate, and people are saying, oh, he's in on it too. Do you think he would turn the shit over and be on the news if he was with them? Do you think he would start a petition that he wants delivered to the governor if he was with them? If he was down with this, he would not be part of this ring. He's already said, check everything, check everything, check everything. Don't trust anybody your kids are around. I should not have trusted anything, and I did. He's for sure grieving. And like I said, now he's got this petition. He started a Facebook group where he is tracking people in the corrections system that are offenders, like Jesse was. But he wouldn't have handed over the names. He wouldn't have handed over the electronics if he was part of it. People are crazy. They are out of their damn minds.
There.
However, inside the house, Justin was told they found more evidence and more electronics.
There was enough electronics in that to run an underground sex ring.
The Webster family's focus now, pushing for harsher punishments for child sex crimes.
These monsters, and that's what they are monsters, should not have rights. They should be locked up in prison the rest of their life and put to death. My message to them is they better run because America's mad now. We're coming for every single one of them.
And people are really worried about Justin right now. Because like I said, he started that Facebook group and you can tell they're putting up pictures of people in prison that are getting ready to come out. And the way our society works, he'll go and confront one of them, and he'll wind up in jail. Sarah Adams, do you have the death penalty in Oklahoma? Huh. Are Cheetos orange? You better believe it. We kill one a month around here. We were kind of on a slow hold there after the Clayton Lockett situation, but we're back on track now. If they could do one a week, they would. Tiffany, he's angry. This is a stage of grief. He is angry. Marianne said, how many victims, I wonder? That's, the jury's out on that one. Thank you, Extra. She said, that town is about to be turned upside down. Yeah. Yeah. Because there's no hiding it now. Everything, he's putting everything out there. He's going after these people. He's saying they shouldn't have rights. They need to be put to death when they do something like this.
They should be locked up in prison the rest of their life and put to death. My message to them is they better run, because America's mad now. We're coming for every single one of them.
The petition also calls to require all schools have an ID scan database system that would flag sex offenders trying to enter the building. They hope to enact the Knights Law, state and eventually nationwide, named after the Henryetta mascot.
All right, good for him. Good for him. Jamie Lunas, how did he get out? He was released in 2017, I believe. He had served 85% of his sentence. Glenjamin said, why don't we have something like that already? I know. Because our legislators, well, I mean, the Today Show this morning. The Today Show. There's important shit going on in this world. They're talking about King Charles's coronation, COVID, and Putin. No one cares about that shit. We have important stuff to talk about. Lazy ass legislators. They're insane. All right, so he said they did find other things. Of course, Beigefield was after it again last night. Whew. I tell you what, the people are in Idaho are like, thank God she found a new dick to jump on, because she has been up our ass sideways since November. Woo! Her and Enton are about to lose their minds. See, in Enton, he's used to standing outside in the snow. Wait till he gets a load of this heat down here. That's what I'm talking about.
Can't even believe some of the things that I am reporting on, Brian. These are children, some of them toddlers, right there in full evidence. And it seems that every day we find out even more about this horrendous crime.
I'm very interested, Ashley, in the 32 cell phones you mentioned that are registered to that address. The addresses on the cell phone accounts, all 32 of them register back to that ranch address. What does that mean, especially when you bring in the fact that there are a high number of child sexual predators that live right in that area near where the ranch is? I mean, you put the pieces of the puzzle together, everything you've talked about that was found inside the house, the drugs, the pictures of young children in lewd positions, the chains that were tied up on the ground. It was clearly some kind of torture house. And then you wonder why cell phones would be registered there from 32 different people, and that there's this high number of sexual predators in the area. I think we're going to find out a lot more now that they're finally investigating.
Yeah. Yeah. You have chains in the floor and 32 cell phones. Might be something. Bless you, OJ. My God. OJ's got some allergies going on. He's sneezing all over the computer. Go sneeze that way, hun. All right, enough. Yeah, chains in the floor, chains on the wall, 32 cell phones. The OSBI is going to bust this wide open. Don't think Homeland Security isn't already on this. We're not going to hear from them because we know how that goes down. Don't think Homeland Security isn't on this. OJ, everybody said bless you. Look at that. They say bless you to you, Kitty. You sneezing?
That were tied up on the ground. It was clearly some kind of torture house. And then you wonder why cell phones would be registered there from 32 different people and that there's this high number of sexual predators in the area. I think we're going to find out a lot more now that they're finally investigating all of this.
I'm going to ask you in a second, Brian, if you will read the letter that Jesse McFadden wrote to the judge, begging to get out of prison early, promising he was going to be such a good boy. I'm going to ask you that in a moment. And while you're getting that letter ready, I want to let our audience know what the Oklahoma newspaper has unearthed today about Jesse McFadden and his background, that he was a member of the Klan. In 2005, he told a corrections case manager not to house him any further with Black people.
Oh my God. Don't house him with Black people. He's a card-carrying member of the Klan. Woo! Can it get any worse? I love when the prisoners get entitled. We heard about Letitia the other day saying she's Jew now, so only give her warm kosher food. You know what I mean? Kosher pickles, the whole 9 yards. Then you have this pedophile that says, don't ever put me around Black people. I'm in the Klan. Oh, really? I have a feeling even the Klan wouldn't want to hang with you. I want to hang with Joy, though, because she just gifted 5 Crime Lines and Lies memberships. Thank you so much, Joy. Me love you long time. Man, if I had gotten that request from him, I'd have put him in a cell with someone that looked like Mike Tyson and on the other side, Ving Rhames.
I want to let our audience know what the Oklahoma newspaper has unearthed today about Jesse McFadden and his background, that he was a member of the Klan. In 2005, he told a corrections case manager not to house him any further with Black people. The records show, quote, I was raised around the Klan. A lot of my family is Klan. I'm a racial person, he wrote. This according to the Oklahoma newspaper. They also are reporting the multiple sex offenses that he committed in prison. The first one in 2009, caught naked in his cell with another inmate.
Good God. Beigefield is going to lose her mind. This is a lot of content for a 2-minute clip. We have the Klan. Don't put me around Black people. And then in 2009, he's racial. Okay, we heard that he's racial. I've got another word for it. But he's getting it on with other prisoners against their will. If you know what I mean. Really. Uh-huh. Got to be kidding me. Gross.
The next one in 2010, another inmate accused him of raping him. McFadden admitted to the sexual relationships with the inmate, disciplined internally. In 2013 and 2016, 2 separate offenses with a clandestine cell phone. And on that cell phone, child porn. He was standing trial for that. Never.
I just have to say they punished him internally, they said. Oh, throw up. God. So all the bullshit they said in Muskogee County about how he had all these badges and points for good behavior and his hygiene, somebody was not paying attention. Somebody was not paying attention because he was R-ing the other inmates and writing letters to the Department of Corrections saying, I'm in the Klan, don't put me around black people, okay? I only like to sexually assault white people. Spicy said I picked a bad time to eat breakfast. I'm telling you. He is an absolute sicko. You're right, Chloe. You are right.
And on that cell phone, child porn. He was standing trial for that. Never made it to the first day of his actual case. And in another instance, he stole $80,000 from his own grandfather's safe. I mean, this is just an unbelievable, despicable human being. What is it that he said to the judge to try to convince the judge that he was nothing other than a despicable human being?
Yeah, Beigefield's about to lose it. 80 grand from his pawpaw. 80 grand from his pawpaw. Not to mention what he did to the other prisoners when he was in there, and not to mention what he did to that poor girl in 2003. 2003. I can't be too descriptive, so I'm going to have to use my Sunday school words here. His attack on her was so vile and so violent. It was predicted that she would never be able to have children.
Yeah, so he wrote this letter, Ashley, trying to convince the judge to let him out of jail, despite everything you just read, admitting to raping and having another sexual relationship with an inmate in jail. He wrote this letter. I'm going to read it to you, to the judge. He said, I do know that there is a lot of pain and suffering and that I was the cause of that pain. I sit and think about how I can change what I've done, but no matter how much I'd like to, there's no changing the past. So the future is all that's left to me. I'd like to get out and prove that I have changed and am a better person. I also have to take a drug rehabilitation class, even though it wasn't a program that was required because I had a problem with drugs and alcohol. When I can find a facility with a sex offenders course, I will be taking that also. So that was a letter to the judge, but remember,
I love when the inmates write letters to the judge as if they're talking to a buddy at the bar. So if you could get me into a place, this is like me when I call, we're going to go out of town and I'm trying to find a hotel. If you could get me something close to the elevator, first floor, preferably. I really don't want to sit there and look out the window at the highway. So if I could see the pool, maybe that'd be great. These people are insane. If you could get me into something to help me deal with drugs and alcohol, that'd be great. That's not the problem. The problem is his perversion in his mind. It's his mind. Get me into some sex offender therapy, another facility. Don't let me around black people. Anything else? Extra AF said, who the hell was Holly turning down? Imagine if you're a dude coming across KJRH or Fox 23 or KOTV or KTUL in Tulsa or any of the stations in Oklahoma City or Fort Smith or Dallas, and you recognize Holly and you're like, I asked her on a date one time and she turned me down. Hell was, and she picked him? Oh, man. That'd be a rough one.
His violent history in jail. And then I was thinking back to the roommate who you interviewed last week, who was in the cell with him, who said he had to sleep with one eye open. So clearly what he was writing to this judge was not reality.
Yeah, no kidding, because 7 people, him included, were found dead on that farm, and who knows if maybe others might be. Those excavators were brought in. Who knows what they unearthed? The ME is not reporting, not saying anything, and nor are the state authorities. Brian Enton, thank you for that. Thank you for watching. Go to News Nation.
God. And peas, you are right. We always say castration, castration, castration. For these sickos, these offenders, like Jesse, it's not the sexual gratification, it's something in the mind. If we could take their brain, it would work. My God. Tiffany said Holly chose him. He wasn't looking for her. Tiff got this down pat. You're right, Tiff. You are right, girlfriend. Leo says, I wonder how many other kids have been there. Me too. I would love to know. I don't want the names. No, God, no, and I hope it's never released. I hope they're going through and they're tracking down every name that was in that book. Some of them were just, from what I'm understanding, first names and like basically an approximate age. Yeah, nothing to see here, right? No big deal. Damn. All right, so Fox 23 yesterday put this out. They have gotten a hold of Oklahoma Department of Corrections, wanting to know why Sicko was let out. Our friend Brandy's coming backstage, but her devices are not connected. And also, I just saw something. OG Bosgal is in chat, and today is her birthday. While Brandy gets connected, let's tell OG happy birthday. Happy birthday, sweetheart. I hope it is a great, great day for you. Wendy said she's in her own imaginary stairwell right now. I think that's going to be the title of the next Members Live. Meet me in the stairwell. Let's see what Brandy's doing. Good morning, Brandy.
Hey, honey, how are you?
I'm good. What are you thinking about this depravity,
Oh,
nastiness?
I can't even with this mess. I just can't. It's just, I thought Letitia had my mind blown. This is beyond Letitia.
Mhm. Me too. I'm with Wendy. Let's meet in the stairwell. I've had it. And like I said, when we were going through the comments, we can actually understand.
Hello?
Can you hear me? Hello? Can everybody hear me? Can you guys hear Brandy? We can understand most crimes. We don't sympathize with it. We sympathize with the victims. But we can wrap our mind around what went on. I mean, you can tell with Chris Watts, you can tell what happened. Letitia, resentment, jealousy. It's not cool. by any means. But this we can't make sense of. Sarah said, I can't hear Brandy. Let's see. Brandy, can you get reconnected? Gage said, I can hear you both. Oh, Brandy. You there, hun? All right, I'm going to let her reconnect. Let's look at Fox 23 in Tulsa. Called Oklahoma Department of Corrections. And this girl is not giving up. Okay, now if I call them over and over and over, they're going to wind up taking me down to Wagner Mental Health and holding me there for 2 weeks until I get better, if you know what I mean. So I'm going to leave that stuff to the professionals. Like several people have come to me and they're like, Brooks, are you going to go down there and check out what's going on? No. No. Hell no.
Are doing right now to find answers to the questions you are asking about the mass murder-suicide last week in Henryetta. I'm Sarah Whaley.
And I'm Shay Rossi. Thanks for watching. We told you how Jesse McFadden, the man police say killed 5 children and his wife before killing himself, was released early from prison. Fox 23's crime and safety reporter Abigail Dye has been working to get answers from the Department of Corrections, but Abigail, they aren't saying much.
Shay, it seems like they just don't want to talk about it. And the fact of the matter here is that if McFadden served 100% of his prison sentence, he'd still be in prison right now.
She's 100% right. Brown Eye says, it was going crazy on my end. I don't know what happened. Try it again, girlfriend. And I really like this anchor we have here, this Abigail Dye. I kind of got irritated with her on Facebook posting too many selfies and talking about what she was having for lunch and shit. But she's doing a great job with this case.
His prison sentence, he'd still be in prison right now, meaning he would still be in prison last week and wouldn't have been free to commit these crimes.
Jesse McFadden murdered these 6 people before killing himself, according to police, all while he was out on bond for a crime he allegedly committed in prison. He was convicted of rape in 2003 and sentenced to 20 years. In 2017, he was charged in a child porn case because he was allegedly sexting with a minor on a contraband cell phone while still in prison. But even with those pending charges, McFadden was released from prison after serving 85% of his time. We've heard it from McFadden's previous victims.
100%, this is a failure on our justice system.
And parents of those killed.
We need answers of why this monster was released to be able to hurt kids.
And
Lazy. Where's the governor? And I love Governor Stitt. He hasn't said shit or shinola about this. Brown Eyes, you're back. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good, sweetheart. You're all connected now. You got your avatar up.
Finally. You'll have to work with me. I'm a little slow.
Nah. So where to begin? Let's start with this. And not just for you, everybody in here. Is Holly a victim or not?
I don't think so. I think she sought out Jesse McFadden.
Mm-hmm. Let her kids around him.
I don't understand why, though. That my brain won't comprehend why.
I think she's a ped like him.
I agree. And I agree with, I was catching up on one of the lives you had, and somebody said that they thought that the kids may have been addicted to the substances. I think that she may have allowed that to happen as well. My question to you is, I keep hearing about these toddler clothes. Did they have toddlers or?
No, that's what's concerning. That's
Okay.
what's concerning. And we have a problem here
Oh
because
my God.
her aunt found the bloody toddler clothes. She put some stuff, I guess, in a trash bag and gave it to the authorities. Now, I don't know if she gave it to Okmulgee County,
Oh my God.
if she gave it to Henryetta Police, if she gave it to OSBI, I don't know. But Ivy's father, Justin, was texting one of the detectives that says, "We have no idea about this." You see,
Now was
we're playing this game. It's called Who's on First right now.
right. And who, when they went in the house, who was it that was on camera going into the house, taking pictures of cell phones and Polaroids and things of such of that nature?
The
Was
blonde hair lady is Holly's aunt. The
okay.
guy with the Buffalo Bills hat on, and
Hmm.
shame in that game. I'm a Chiefs fan, but I love me some Bills too. That is Ivy's daddy.
Okay. Okay. Now, my thing is, do you think that the mom just sat back and allowed this to happen, or do you think maybe she got a crisis of conscience and tried to stop it, and that's where the killing came in?
Um, Honestly, from what I know about their relationship now and everything,
Hmm.
I think that she helped stage the bodies,
Oh
and
dear Lord.
I think they went out together because I mean she knew this was in her daughter's room. If you look at the screen,
Yeah, I see that. That's just got me tore up.
hmm
So tore up. I mean, she
yeah,
allowed that.
yeah. This is no DIY crafting. Okay, this is a sex thing. Um, they took this out of one of the rooms.
Where's all the blood?
They were killed outside.
Okay.
They were killed outside. And then of course, I mean Holly can't excuse this because
Oh my God, that thing right there scares me.
I can feel that from here. I'm telling you what, a rhinoceros at the Tulsa Zoo could feel that.
I can feel that all the way in Georgia. Okay.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But I mean, the fact of the matter is, it was found all over the house, the kitchen, the here, the there. I mean, it was like, was there a snuff movie made? And is it true what I heard, that there was disembowelment?
That was one of the first stories we heard. But
Right.
like everything else, we hear all these crazy stories, and then the authorities are like, no, nobody was disemboweled, but they were staged.
That's got to be I mean, there's got to be so many more people involved.
Oh, for real. Ryan Christie, thank you for the super sticker, said Holly was dating this scum when he committed the R in 2003.
Oh my Lord.
Interview on News Nation last week, the victim stated it. See, she's sick like him. Now
Oh, she's so
people will
sick.
say, "Oh, but Jesse groomed her. Jesse
No.
groomed her." No, she stuck with him and she had children with other men. She had old Joe thinking that he was going to adopt the children. He's so basic. He was like, "Well, I've been working on it for 10 years. I've been working on it for 10 years." No, she was playing all of you.
Right. Right. Well, I just don't get how the sheriff's department just left everything in there. I mean, yes, everybody was dead, but does it not occur to them that there might have been more people involved?
Oh yeah, they're going to find him too.
Oh, I pray. I pray they do. I pray this ring is busted wide open.
Me too. Snazzy, thank you for the super sticker. Snazzy said, "Wasn't it reported one of the girls told the school, 'This needs more eyes also. Lawsuits will be forthcoming if this is proven to be true.'" I would love to know because
Oh,
rumors are flying out like roaches right now. I would love to know because I'm wondering how if you go to someone's house and and I'm not disparaging the dead, okay? Let's say Ivy and Brittany, okay?
mm-hmm.
They go over to hang out with Tiffany. and they're like, "Hey, how come you have like these hooks and stuff in your wall? What is that for? Hey, what is this chain doing? Um, with that Brinks lock in your floor? Hey, what is this thing?" What I mean, kids ask questions.
Right. And would they not have gone home and told their parents? Look,
That
this is
obviously did not happen. That obviously did not happen.
my kids tell me everything. I'm so used to hearing everything from my kids, but I had 3 biological children and 4 daughters that I adopted. But I mean, they're all mine. I don't care if I gave birth to them or not, but they told me everything, and we had a very open relationship. The dinner table, a lot of stuff came out. And a lot of people didn't come back, and you didn't go back to a lot of people's houses, and I wasn't mom of the year on those days, but I didn't care.
Mhm.
And I just don't understand how nobody noticed a change in the children after she married this jackhat, and B, the kids that were hanging around with them. I mean, I'm sorry. Make it make sense to me.
Make it make sense. Astro from Space said, in my opinion, soon as they strapped in that house, and this is a very common theory, as soon as they strapped in that house, he essayed Ivy and blackmailed her with the content. That is a common thing for people like Jesse. They
Yeah.
will violate someone and they feel dirty. They think they've done
Yeah.
something wrong. They don't realize, I mean, they know they've been violated, but it's shame and guilt.
Oh, yeah.
Now, his victim in 2003, she ran for her life because she thought she was going to be killed. She
Oh, I
ran
think,
butt naked into a house, and they were like, "Oh my God." They found him out on the river with his wrist slit.
oh, so he tried to kill himself after he did that?
Yeah, in 2003.
Okay, so he was a coward then, but he got enough oomph up to find a sick ass woman. Sorry for my mouth, Brooks.
You're fine, babe.
To work with him, bring her children in, bring other children in, so he could live his ultimate fantasy out and kill everybody. Because in his mind, seriously, he was one of those predator serial killers. He just didn't have he had to do it in the confines of his own home.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, he was a serial killer in the
Absolutely.
making.
He was. Absolutely. He is a serial killer.
Yeah.
100%. I think Holly went out with him. I don't think he murdered her per se. I think it was an agreement between the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
But the other people, the kids that were there, definitely. Yeah, he's a serial killer. Angel said, "Let's be real. She wasn't forced into this."
No, absolutely not. And the thing, somebody had said something about the natives there, the Native Americans. Were they trying to blame that on them?
I haven't heard all of that. I know a lot of people asked me if this was on a reservation, and no, it wasn't. If it was on a reservation, it would be handled a different way.
Right. I have family on the reservation up there, and
Really, where?
I could not tell you because I have not ever met them, but I just know I have family up there. But I don't even know what reservation it is up there. I mean, I know the reservations out west, but not in Oklahoma. But they're distant relatives, but neither here nor there. But I just wondered if the Native American women that had gone missing, if any of them were from Oklahoma.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because there's so many. I don't know if you're aware of that. There's so many.
Especially in the Dakotas right now.
Right. And the Cheyenne.
He's not into women.
So he only likes children.
He's into kids.
And apparently the younger the better. Okay, another question. Like I've said, I'm catching up. What about the bones? They said they found bones.
See, and I don't know about that either because I can't get a real answer on that. It could be another rumor. Because at this point, you can say anything about that house and people are going to believe you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And what we know for a fact is bad enough.
Wow. Wow. I just, I don't know. I was so upset over Gannon's case, and then I heard about this case, and now I'm even more upset when you start talking about toddlers' clothing and possibly bones, and seeing the donkey-sized thing that we saw,
Right.
and whatever that massaging tool was. I thought that was some kind of drill. Shows you how smart I am.
Oh, it's a drill for sure. My confusion about the toddler clothes is, you see, people like Jesse,
Hmm.
they have an age. Okay, if you remember the case about Sean Hornbeck,
Right?
he was kidnapped in
Right.
Missouri.
Yeah.
And when Sean got to a certain age, he went and kidnapped Ben Owensby because he wasn't attracted to Sean anymore.
Oh, yeah. That happens a lot.
They have a particular age, and his seems to be 14 to 16. So it's not like a toddler wouldn't really, it's not,
So was it her that was into little ones?
that's what I want to know.
That's what it sounds like. I mean, that's deduction.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, I think I'm going to throw up. This is awful.
Mm-hmm.
And then to be so cowardly to kill yourself. I didn't know he tried to kill himself after the first one.
Well, let me tell you what, the cuts on his wrist you could do with a comb.
Oh, seriously? He
Yeah,
was one of
he
them.
was too much of a scaredy cat to even do that.
So did both of them die of gunshot wounds?
Yes.
I wonder if there was more than one firearm. Did they go out together? I mean, 1, 2, 3, shoot. I mean,
Still waiting on that because there was more kids than the two of them. And obviously the kids would have been, unless they had drugged them. See, they need to do toxicology on them and everything.
right. That was my next question. Are they doing the toxicology screens on the kids after finding the needles? I mean, this is such a cluster from the sheriff that the crime scene's been tainted with. I have issues with the homeowner that was renting the place to him.
Me too.
So I know I'm coming in hot, and I apologize. I'm just so angry. I'm so tired of our children being taken advantage of.
You're in good hands here. Don't worry about it.
And I heard that one little girl was running away and got shot. I think her grandmother said that she was running and got shot. How does she know that she was running away and got shot?
I don't know where this information's coming from because when Joe Prentice gave the press conference, he said their bodies were staged.
Exactly. So
there's a big difference between running away and getting shot and being staged. And when people say, well, somebody would have heard all those gunshots, not in the middle of nowhere, Oklahoma.
That's what I was about to say. It is in the middle of nowhere, Oklahoma, isn't it? I mean, it's really out in the.
When you hear a gunshot in Oklahoma, you don't think about it anyway. And
I
know
you're right. You don't hear in Georgia.
I mean, they could be like right now. People are upset, because we got a lot of bobcats out.
Mm-hmm.
You got a lot of people out there acting like they're on safari, killing bobcats in the middle of downtown Tulsa.
Well, see, we have the coyote problem, so it's open season. You can shoot as many coyotes as you can get. So at any given time during the day or the night, you'll hear gunshots in my backyard. And I'm sitting out here, and it's like boom, boom, boom. It's like, okay, another coyote down. But you don't know that to be. I mean, what if somebody died 5 miles from me? I wouldn't know. I would think somebody was shooting a coyote. And I'm sure that's probably what anybody there would have thought. It was just, or somebody being drunk and shooting a gun. you
And
know?
you really don't think about it. And I know so many people have come to me and they're like, uh, how could no one hear these gunshots? And I'm like, look, they they wouldn't think anything of it.
C
They wouldn't.
Right, it's the country.
And also, I mean, people here, we really do mind our own business.
Right, thank you, and we do too.
And that's
And
part of the problem here too. Nobody was gonna go over there and bring a pineapple upside down cake to Holly and Jesse and look at the new sex toys.
heck no. I mean, no. See, I say to myself, anyways, I just met my neighbors this past weekend when we were cooking out, and they were like, "Y'all have lived here for a while. We just wanted to stop in and say hi,
Mhm,
hi, bye." you know, it's like we just stay to ourselves, my husband and I, and when I tell him about all this that's going on in the world, he just looks at me like, because we don't watch the news. Obviously, this is where I get most of my news is online. But he's like, "You've got to be kidding me." I said, "No, I'm not kidding you. You won't believe what I hear.
mhm.
You won't
Well, and
believe
not
it."
to mention, there's a few people that, she knows, Holly, that are Branch Davidians
Oh,
out of Waco.
wow.
Yeah, it gets worse and worse. I was
Well,
going through all her shit yesterday.
what is the ex-husband saying about all of this?
He's destroyed, he's broken. She took him on a ride too. He kept saying, "Well, I was gonna adopt the other 2, and I've been working on it for 10 years." And I'm like, "Well, you weren't what are you talking about?"
Well, that's just stupid. I mean, not him, but
No, it
that's just stupid to think that it would take 10 years. But I just don't understand not. I mean, if you vet somebody before you let them come work on your plumbing, why wouldn't you vet them before you let your child go to their home?
and that is the truth.
I mean, that's why I said I'm going to be really unpopular because I'm a mother of 7 and
Mhm.
they all grew up and they all have families and none of them got hurt. But it was because I was a helicopter mom, so to speak. And in nowadays, you have to be.
Not me. It's a wonder my children made it to the age of 10 because what one wasn't doing, the other 2 thought of. They were
Oh,
like spider monkeys all over the
oh yeah, yeah.
There's
My
3
boys were
of them
that
and 1
way.
of me. I mean,
Right.
I had a child fall out of a tree right in front of me.
Well, there's nothing you can do. I get that. I had a child fall down a flight of stairs while I was big and pregnant with another one, and my belly wouldn't allow me to catch him. So
Mhm.
I totally get that. But at the same time, you said you knew where your kids were. You knew the people that your kids were hanging out with. You know what I mean? But at the, on the other hand, kids are going to do what kids are going to do.
Oh,
And
100%,
if
but
they won't,
I
that,
knew all the people around us, and I mean, I remember, like, one time, I had taken a nap on a Saturday, and I don't really have the gift of sleep, so for me to take a nap is a big deal, okay?
mm-hmm.
And I woke up, and guess what? Not one child in the house.
Oh, yeah. Isn't that
So
fun?
I start calling all the neighbors. I'm like, "Hey, Gretchen, have you seen the boys? Hey, Eva, have you seen the boys? Hey, Chrissy, have you seen the boys?" And all the moms are going back and forth. "No, but when I find them, I'm gonna beat their ass and bring them right back to you." And they did.
Right, and that's how it used to be back in the day. Nowadays, people don't do that. That I mean, unless they have ill intentions towards your children, they're not gonna help you. I mean, I that I have grandkids now, and it just freaks me out. It really does. But this has got me super freaked out because these kids were there for a weekend stay. They were supposed to go back home. One was supposed to go off to camp. I mean, and what were the children that lived there, her 3 children, what were they enduring every night?
That's what I would love to know. I mean, we've seen the pictures of the house, but they were very active in school. I mean, all of these kids were very active. I believe it was Brittany that was in pageants and stuff.
Were they brainwashed?
I
I,
don't know. I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think the kids were brainwashed? Do you think they were given drugs? I mean, they were in track They were very active in school.
And if wouldn't they have told their dad, the guy said they all thought of him as dad, wouldn't they have told him?
Yeah.
If something was going on, or was this just like, oh, I know they said something about they were going to go to the stepdad's ranch and go swimming. Well, first of all, that's not a ranch with a pool.
Mhm. And they never made it down to McAllister anyway.
Right. So was that the home? Was that the home they were living in that all the bodies were found at? Or was that the
No,
stepdad's
no,
ranch?
no, they were at the McFadden residence in Henryetta.
So they did go to the stepdad's quote unquote ranch, just didn't have a pool. And
well, they were going to go to McAllister, which is south of Henryetta, and they were going to
okay,
go swimming. Well, they never went down there to go swimming. They were going to swimming and go to the mall and stuff like that. Well, they never went down there. And so then they start making phone calls trying to find the kids. My question's always been, why didn't the parents of Ivy and Brittany
go over there?
Just drive over to Jesse and Holly's and say, hey, no one's answering the phone. I'm here to get my kid.
Exactly. That's what I want to know.
I'm wondering if someone texted them and said, oh, the kids are going to spend the night again and they'll go to school on Monday. Because when I got that alert on Monday, it said extreme alert. And I have never seen that before.
Wow. So they knew the kids were in danger.
Oh, yeah.
So
and then it went away. And I mean, when it went away, I was like, oh, well, they found him, I guess.
that was when they found him dead.
Yeah.
Okay, my next question, and I'm just trying to catch up, Brooke, so please be patient with me.
You're fine, honey buns.
Could he have maybe had the mom take all of their kids out of the house long enough? The boards and stuff looked brand new. All of the shackles looked brand new. They didn't look used, worn, bloody, anything like that. Could he have done that while they were gone somewhere? And they had something going on between the two of them, and it's like, okay, you go take them to do this. I'm going to get everything set up.
I don't know. I mean, I'm looking at the wall. Now, I heard that Riley slept in their room, which creeps me out. I'm no carpenter, okay? I'm no tool time Tim, but this looks like a 2-person job to me.
Well, that's what I thought too. But didn't they say his brother or brother-in-law stayed there all the time? Would hang out there all the time?
Oh, I'm afraid to know who all was there.
There's a lot of people involved with this. I don't care what anybody says. There's more than just these two. And if they were both shot and both went out, maybe somebody else shot them. Keep them quiet. Keep a secret. I mean, my mind doesn't work the way it used to work, but it is very cynical now. And I'll just be honest with you.
Oh, no, I get it. It's hard to, you look for the good in people. Now, Jesse and Holly kiss my ass. And, everybody else involved, you're trying to find, nuggets of truth and good, and they're in there. They're in there. But they're going through something I couldn't even imagine. Marianne has such a good point. Fear is very powerful.
Oh, yes, it is.
So
as a survivor myself, I can tell you it's very, very powerful. And it doesn't take much for a child to be terrified. And I know that firsthand, my own self. And I think that's why I'm so drawn to true crime, because I wish somebody had been whenever it was happening to me, I'm lucky I survived it, but these children didn't. And oh my gosh, I can't.
But what she says is so simple but so true. Fear is so powerful because there are children that go to school every day. There are men that go to work every day. There are women that go to work every day. There are people that go to church every Sunday. Wednesday night, Sunday night, and they don't say a word to anyone, because you might get hugs and prayers from them. You might get some thoughts and prayers, but you still have to go back and face what you live with.
Right. And people don't want to get involved anymore.
No.
It's not their problem. And I'm sorry, when it comes to kids, it's all of us should be getting involved. I mean, that's just my opinion, so y'all don't come for me. But I just, this has got me sick, and I just
Well, it's like
hope.
the same thing we discussed, over the last month in the Gannon situation.
Oh Lord.
Not one child said anything. Harley said nothing. Harley wouldn't trust the detectives. Lena didn't say anything. Gannon didn't say anything. Fear is powerful.
Exactly. And I hope that Lena doesn't have flashbacks when she's older that's going to get her. I thought about that the other day, that maybe her little mind's not remembering on purpose, But I think that Harley knew in her heart that her mom did it, but her mind couldn't wrap around it. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And I don't know that Harley may end up being just like Letitia. I don't know, but her ex stepdad and Landon definitely gave her an out. Said that her mom manipulated her whole life, so she's just as messed up as the rest of them.
Well, in this situation too. I mean, the kids go to school. They make sure that they're at school on time. They're going to track. They're doing this. They're doing that. They're getting ready for the next dance. They've got all this stuff going on, and then they forget what's going on when they get home at 3:30 and go to bed at 9:30, and then have their friends over on the weekends or go to other friends' homes.
But the thing is that nobody suspected this mom of being crazy. And supposedly he hired an actor to say that it didn't really happen.
Yeah, I'll take $2,500 on shit that never happened.
Yeah, I'll sell you some ocean property in my backyard.
Yeah, that never happened. There was no actress. She's the actress.
I agree.
Holly is the actress.
Did the police talk to the girl that it happened to the first time?
Oh yeah, hun, he went to jail for that.
Oh, that's what he was in jail for the 25 years for.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And tried to kill himself with a comb-like cut. Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah.
See, I'm trying to catch up.
It's like my cat gives bigger scratches than what he did to himself.
That's crazy. I don't understand it. I just don't understand it. I mean, for the love of Pete, I just don't understand it. I don't
get it either.
How did nobody know? I mean, somebody had to have an inkling. I mean,
the only inkling to be had was Holly and Jesse.
Well, they must have been really good actors themselves.
Because I don't think people were around them very often. I don't think that her family were as connected to Holly as they like to think they were. I mean, the aunt lives in Pennsylvania. How often was she at the house in Oklahoma? Probably never.
Right. Probably never. Right. You're absolutely right. Probably never. But the grandmother, God love her, she was pitiful. But at the same time, she should be angry.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't see that. And I mean, because she kept talking about, I've lost my daughter, I've lost my grandkids. Well, your daughter helped you lose your grandkids. I'm sorry to say.
Mm-hmm.
And irregardless, if you want to believe it or not, I just pray with everything in me that what is it, the Oklahoma Bureau of what's it called, OSBI?
Yeah.
I pray that they deep dive and that they bust whatever's going on wide open.
Oh, well, they're going to, because they took the lead.
I mean, I just
They took the lead. They're going to get to the bottom of it. And V. Oakley, thank you for this truth, because humans have to live their busy lives.
Right.
It's to live your life and keep up on other people's lives as well.
So
And that
true.
is the truth.
Yeah, that's so
That
true.
is the truth.
That's so true. That's
I
so
love
true.
this community. I mean, common sense. You think I have time to go check on my neighbors and cousins I haven't talked to in 20 years?
That's just it. I mean, you asked me what reservation my family's on. I don't know. They're cousins I haven't seen
No, I
since
got you.
my great grandparents died. I don't know. I just know they live on the reservation, and I don't.
There you go.
And
What are you gonna do? They're grown adults.
right. And I mean, I could probably pick them out of a crowd. We probably have similar features, but that would be about it. You know. But I just, I feel like Jules did the other day when she was on here and she was about ready to bust the gasket over again. And I feel like these kids deserve better than whatever. How do you say that? What's the name of the county?
Omogi?
Omogi.
Mhm.
How do you live with yourself knowing that you're part of a sheriff's department that didn't even care to do an investigation?
Oh, they'll be fine. They're probably ordering subs right now and getting ready for the next shit show. They don't give a fuck.
Well, see, the thing that makes me curious is, are they involved? Are they covering for somebody that's involved? Now, that's
My
maybe a
guess, I
stretch,
don't I
but
don't know so much about the sheriff's department. Eddie Rice was really quick to get this off his plate.
oh yeah.
He had been down fishing in Eufaula when all this came down. I mean, he still had the farmer's tan and everything going on. I'm more curious about the police in Henryetta.
Really?
Yeah.
That corrupt?
Joy Calley said somebody did know. Damn right they did, but like Jules said, the wrong people knew.
Right. And it's the people that were probably involved. That's the thing, is the people that were involved. And you can't, too many people involved cannot keep a secret. That's why I said, how did both of them die of a gunshot wound? Unless A, there was 2 guns that was found, or B, a third party shot them both to shut them up. They got what they wanted. Everybody's dead. They did their part. Boom, boom. They shot them to shut them up.
Mhm.
And I honestly feel that way. And I just hope that they don't do a gag order on this one like they have done on so many, because there are people that care and want to know the truth.
Well, like Okmulgee 4, they did a gag order on that. The DA, who I'm just not a fan of hers by any means, not that she
Right.
asked for my opinion. Athena Brownfield, they did a shut up on that one. And we have several crimes in Oklahoma that need to be revisited. We have the
Mhm.
Girl Scout murders
Oh,
that
yes. Yes,
we
yes.
haven't found that out. I mean, good Lord. We have an entire family in Eufaula, Oklahoma that's just gone.
Right. And I heard about that briefly, and then you didn't hear another thing.
No, no.
Not another thing. And it's like, I don't know what's going on there, but it doesn't feel good. Something's rotten in Denmark.
Astro from Space said Black Wall Street in Tulsa. Don't get me going on that.
Yeah.
And people are yelling, "Where's Governor Stitt? Where's Governor Stitt?" Well, he was a block away from me this week because he went and gave a commencement speech at Oral Roberts University.
Are you kidding me?
Nope.
So he knows about this, and he's not come out and spoke and said anything.
He don't give a rat's ass. And I like Kevin. I like Kevin Stitt. He don't give a rat's ass.
Because it doesn't directly involve him.
Nope.
But it will. It could. It very well could if these families do a class action lawsuit against the state.
Good luck with that. If they
Well,
couldn't get it done for the Oklahoma City bombing, you think they're going to get it done for this pedo?
Yeah, that's true.
If
That's
they can't get
true.
it done for tornadoes and Allstate and State Farm, they're not going to get it done for
That's very true.
chain gang in Henryetta.
That's very true.
Sad but true.
I
And
didn't even
when it
think
comes
about
right
that.
down to it, it's not the state's fault that this
No.
was dating Holly, married Holly.
No, but shouldn't the state be held responsible if their police that they're entrusting to protect and serve don't protect and serve?
I mean, I guess if you want, if you want to look at it that way, it's 100% true. But that would be the same for Georgia, Louisiana. But you would have to play like Minority Report, and you would have to be able to see in the future.
I would love for some people to get a hold of the state of Georgia. You have no idea. Because sometimes it's just downright disgraceful. I don't even know how to explain it. It's just downright disgraceful.
And I try to hone it in as much as I can without beating a dead horse with a horse dildo.
No shit, right? Oh, sorry.
Criminals don't care about the law.
No, none.
So when they have unannounced visits from their parole officer and they're where they're supposed to be, they move along to the next one. They don't they don't get on Facebook and say, "Oh man, my parole officer thinks that I live in Owasso, Oklahoma, but I really live in Henryetta with this woman and her kids." They don't do that.
Yes, and I think whichever person that said it on the chat or on the stream, that it should be illegal for a woman with children to marry a convicted pedophile. I want to give them 3 cheers because it should be so illegal.
Damn right it should be.
It should be so illegal, and we got to do a better job at protecting our children. I mean, you and I know we did the best we could in the times that our kids grew up, but it's not the same times anymore. You can't just let your kids go spend the night with somebody. You just cannot do it.
Well, but then, mom needs a break too. Dad needs a break too. So if the kids want to go, hang out with their cousins or their friends, there's nothing wrong with that. But if they have chains in their floor,
right,
and more electronics,
why don't take a visit first? Go get to know the person, I guess is my point. I don't know. I told you I wasn't going to be popular whenever I said what I had to say. And I'm not victim shaming. I promise you I'm not. My heart goes out to these people.
Me too.
But just take a visit before you allow or entrust your children into somebody else's care. I mean, if they were going to a daycare, you would make a visit. If you were entrusting them to a daycare center, wouldn't you go and make a visit? Or am I just crazy?
Like when I used to take my kids over to spend the night with, their friends and stuff, I had their bags. I walked in the front door. Usually there was, the mom or dad in there, and we would talk for a little bit. I'm like, all right, if there's any problem, give me a call. That's it.
Right. And I actually had one of my kids one time call me, and I said, "Hey, what's up?" And they were like, "No, please don't make me come home. Please don't, Mom, please don't make me come home." And I knew right then and there something wasn't right. And I was correct. I mean, the parents were drunk. Dad was beating on the mom. I went over there and picked up whichever one of my kids it was. But kids don't do that anymore. It's like that communication's not there, And I'm thankful that that could have ended badly for my children, but I'm glad that my kids have presence of mind to do that.
Absolutely, you're very lucky because a lot of kids don't, and it's really not on the parents.
No,
to this day, I'm like, I try to get my kids to communicate. And they're like, everything's good, Mom. That's it.
Right, and you can't. But at the same time, I just think that anybody with especially a girl nowadays, you check before you let the girl go spend the night with somebody to make sure there's not a sex offender or a boy. It's happening too much.
Right.
And You know, you think, oh, my boys are tough. They can take care of themselves. But not when they're kids, they can't. Not when they're kids, they cannot.
No, they can't. Ava said, I arrange a play date first with the parents. For the older kids, we all go to the mall or movies, or they don't go. See,
Smart parenting.
that is so smart, Ava.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that is checks and balances right there. That's how you do it.
That's the only way to keep them safe, man. I mean, this could have been avoided. And it's just got me torn up because it could have been avoided. But I do know what fear is like, Brooks. When it happened to me, I was terrified of a siren. If I heard a siren, I would like shut down and panic till I was about 11 years old. And they finally figured out what was going on. But it was because I was told that if I told anybody, the police were going to come and take my parents away.
And that's fear is fear.
It's a horrific way to live, and it is, like you said, it's very powerful, and I know that firsthand. And I guess that's why I drilled it in my kids' head. I didn't think that they would ever use code on me like that, but they did, and it worked.
Well, and I appreciate Marianne putting that up there, saying, I mean, it's real.
So
It's
real.
And like V. Oakley said, you know, we're so busy with our own lives, we're not going to go check on everybody else's. We got our
Nope.
own to take care of. And
Nope.
people that are busy in everybody else's lives, guess what? Your house fails.
Exactly.
Take care of your own.
Exactly.
And since, you know, you were talking about like how, fear and how this happened and everything. Like I said, this Abigail Dye, she's really on the Department of Corrections right now. And I really appreciate the work she's been doing. Again, I got a little annoyed with her on Facebook, always talking about her workouts and her selfies and what she had for lunch. But this is a really good clip. Look at this real quick.
Okay.
5 children and his wife before killing himself, was released early from prison. Fox 23's crime and safety reporter Abigail Dye has been working to get answers from the Department of Corrections, but Abigail, they aren't saying much.
Shay, it seems like they just don't want to talk about it. And the fact of the matter here is that if McFadden served 100% of his prison sentence, he'd still be in prison right now, meaning he would still be in prison last week and wouldn't have been free to commit these crimes.
Jesse McFadden murdered these 6 people before killing himself, according to police, all while he was out on bond for a crime he allegedly committed in prison. He was convicted of rape in 2003 and sentenced to 20 years. In 2017, he was charged in a child porn case because he was allegedly sexting with a minor on a contraband cell phone while still in prison. But even with those pending charges, McFadden was released from prison after serving 85% of his time. We've heard it from McFadden's previous victims.
100%, this is a failure on our justice system.
And parents of those killed.
We need answers of why this monster was released to be able to hurt kids.
And viewers' comments, all concerned about McFadden's early release. The Department of Corrections put out this statement explaining that inmates receive credits for things like behavior, attitude, education, and hygiene. And that once McFadden reached 85% of his time, his credits were applied and he was released. I called the DOC, still wondering why those credits could be applied if McFadden was caught with contraband and child porn in prison. They told me they were working on getting an interview set up, but then I got this text saying they're busy and to refer to the statement.
They're busy and refer to the statement.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. And by the way, hats off to these local news anchors like Abigail Dye and Aaron Christie. I'm a big Leanne Taylor fan that, do the work like this. Basically hats off to everybody except for Beigefield and Jennifer Coffendaffer. Because their lives are in danger if you really want to think about it.
Absolutely.
These are bad hombres.
Well, I don't understand why as you call her, Beigefield, has to exploit everything. I just don't get the exploitation of every bad thing that happens.
That's her job, girlfriend. That's her job. You know?
I'd pick a new job. That's just me, though.
To do great job. Before she got LASIK surgery, she was doing a great job.
Yeah,
Man,
oh yeah. With 9/11, yeah.
we also need to raise our kids, especially daughters, to know no one deserves to touch you or
Right.
treat you with disrespect. And if someone does, you say something. Scream.
Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of the police. Don't be afraid of sirens. Don't let that ever climb into your brain.
They're busy, and to refer to the statement. I even got an interview from the Muskogee County District Attorney on this case.
Do you think the credit system is a good system to be using?
That's DOC policy, and I'm not going to get into DOC policy.
But even asking again this week, the DOC is still declining to speak about this on camera.
Shay, Sarah, I'm not done with the story. I'm going to continue to ask these questions until I get answers. Live covering News that Matters, I'm Abigail Dye, Fox 23.
Go, girl.
Dipshits. She's like, I'm not done with this story. Good for you, but she better be careful. She
Why
better
was
be careful because there is a ring of
right?
people.
Right.
And not to mention the ring, I mean, it gets bigger and bigger because his brother is a piece of shit too.
Right, and who knows how high up this ring goes.
Yeah.
I mean, she really does need to be careful, but she seems like she's a badass, so I think she can handle it.
She is. I get tired of her putting Chick-fil-A shit and stuff like that on her Facebook. But other than that, I get tired of that crap.
Well, you know, she's trying to promote the Jesus chicken.
I'm telling you what, I do like it. Don't get me wrong, but it's like every damn day, her and
Every day, right?
every day,
Right.
her and her lunch. Look at this with the brother. I think the brother is actually worse than Jesse, if you could imagine.
Wonder if he pulled the trigger.
You've been hearing a whole lot about Jesse McFadden in the last week, the man who murdered his wife, her 3 kids, and 2 kids who came for a sleepover, and probably molested and maybe murdered many other children. Some of the children featured in photographs and ledgers found in his sex torture chamber home by family members of the victims, and then eventually by the police. And it turns out Jesse had a younger brother, still does.
Why does Beigefield act like she's been left out of the sex dungeon?
I don't know. Maybe she needs a. I'm not going to say that.
I mean, she's always like, the sex dungeon, the sex dungeon. Then she tosses her hair back, and I'm like, do you want one?
She's like,
Prison, guy named Cody McFadden. And apple didn't fall far from Jesse's tree there. Cody McFadden has quite a rap sheet of his own, sadistic and violent crimes. Let's just run through them since 2010, shall we? Making meth, assault with a deadly weapon, battery, aggravated assault, arson, assaulting a doctor, assaulting a police officer, cruelty to animals, and just most recently, last summer, that's July of 2022, he locked his ex-girlfriend in a dog cage for an entire day.
Put the girlfriend in a dog cage for an entire day. Let's not forget about him buying the case of peanut butter from the Save-A-Lot and taking it home because the dogs were licking the peanut butter off of him.
That's nasty, but look at his cold, dead eyes. He's got shark eyes. One thing I've learned through true crime is you can always tell by looking at their eyes.
And the peanut butter. Because I'm going to tell you something right now. Every time
That's
I hear
gross.
about these freaks, dogs, and peanut butters, I lose my shit.
Yo, what's up with that?
I know. Sweet Insanity said, why are these people in free society? Gina said, oh my God, what is wrong with these people? Yeah. They are sexual deviants, my friends. They are sexual deviants.
And we probably cross paths with them many, many times a day.
Astro said he was the worst brother before last weekend. Yeah. I would love to know. I would love to meet Ma and Pa McFadden. How did your gene pool spit this out?
Wonder if it's too closely related.
Yeah. How
I
did
mean,
your gene pool spit out 2? You can have a bad seed in the family, but you've got 2 this bad?
sounds like a learned process to me.
Could be.
Could be. He tortured her. He beat her bloody with a stick to the point where there was blood on every part of her body. He reportedly used jumper cables to electrocute her. She escaped, and he set his house on fire in a standoff with the police.
Oh my
Yes.
Jesus wept.
Mhm. Jumper cables.
I'm surprised she didn't have a coronary.
Mhm. Jumper cables.
And that's the good brother?
I guess he's the better brother now. Jumper cables. Hello, Jack. How are you, honey buns? Gotta be kidding me. Jumper cables, dog cages, peanut butter, and she escaped and he burnt the house down.
In a standoff. Seriously? Was he trying to burn himself up or just make it look like that?
I don't know.
Did they find the
He's
body?
currently in jail on kidnapping and felony assault. And to prove how dangerous he is, he's on $1 million bond. $1 million bond. This is a guy who reported he had 0 assets, 0 income, that his entire employment was considered food stamps. A guy who has no money and gets $1 billion bond. That's a guy they don't want getting out. That's a dangerous, dangerous felon. And that's Jesse McFadden's dear brother. I want to bring in Robin Dreek. He's a retired FBI.
They did this in Houston a few months ago. A woman who is mentally ill. And I mean, she truly is. She was living in a tent, had her daughter, and she had no reason having her daughter. She was caught having an argument with a stop sign, and they put her in jail after she almost beheaded her daughter and drove her to the emergency room, telling everyone that she had a sore throat.
Oh my God.
And of course, they arrested her and they gave her like a $15 million bond. She lives in a tent. She was carrying around a Twinkie thinking it was a baby. Get on with it.
A Twinkie? A Twinkie.
Yeah.
Okay, this brother that you just showed us, how long has he been in jail?
I'm getting ready to pull his record up and we'll see in a second.
Oh my God, this is sick.
Well, here, let's look at it right now. I got it pulled up. Let's see. It's on the screen. This is Cody McFadden. He got a marriage license in Blaine County. Let's see. He had some problems in 2003 traffic, 2008 unlawful possession, endeavoring to manufacture, aggravated assault and battery in 2011. 2020 is when we had the arson. So this is 2023. 2022 assault and battery on medical care provider, kidnapping. He was caught fishing without a license, possession of controlled, minor in possession. So he's really torn up Pittsburgh County there for a while, hasn't he?
Right, but is he out of jail now?
No, he's still in there.
He's still in there. So was he in there during the crimes?
As far as I know.
Okay. I'm blown away. I'm just blown away.
And what his sentence is going to be, actually, let me pull it up real quick. Arson 3rd degree. It says dismiss. Hang on. April 17th, Oklahoma Tax Commission processed, sent to OTC for attachment of, he got a tax refund. How that happened, I'll never know.
What?
They get tax refunds in jail.
Really?
Mhm.
Oh my God.
They got stimulus money in jail. They did. And we're paying back the Federal Reserve.
Great. 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 Shows you what I know. I'm telling you, being on Crime Lines and Lies, it has opened my eyes to so many things that I had no way of, I would have had no way of knowing. Nobody, I mean, the truth comes out.
Mhm.
I guess is the best way to put it, is you bring the truth to light on your channel. That's why I love it. And everybody's the best on your chat too. So lost my dog. Come on, dog.
Speaking of dogs, where's OJ? OJ, where are you? If I don't find OJ, he'll just come out of nowhere and just jump on me.
You go out there after the
Special
guy.
agent who managed the Bureau's counterintelligence behavioral analysis program. Robin, first of all, let's just talk about Cody for a minute. How was a guy walking the streets as early as July of last year and able to commit that hideous and sadistic series of crimes against that girlfriend, that ex-girlfriend, with 15 years of violent criminal felony behavior? How was he walking the street last summer?
How's any of this happen, Ashley? This whole system down there right now is broken. As your last guest is saying, the former ADEC, he articulated perfectly. Everything down there needs to be redone and revamped, and you need to bring in outside people right now. The leadership needs to be shaken up massively. I can't explain any of this. It's just tragic, all of it, internally, externally, everything.
I feel like the FBI should be all over it, and the Oklahoma authorities should just pack up and head out, especially how they're treating the press, telling the family members, we're not their friends, don't speak to the press, and then denying us any transparency at all when we just asked for the warrant. The results of the warrant, please. In the same place you screwed up so massively for 9 straight days. Can't get that either. Our Freedom of Information request was denied. No reason given other than the law, which is baloney, and we know it. Okay, the other thing I needed to ask you about is looking at Cody McFadden as compared to Jesse McFadden. Is there such a thing as a bad gene? It's shocking to me to see this much sadistic criminal behavior among brothers.
So, yes, ish.
That's what I want to know. How can you have 2 turds that won't flush in one toilet?
Oh my God.
How can it happen?
I don't know. I'm thinking that the family tree might not be a tree at all. I mean,
How?
I don't know. I don't know. I think that it's a learned behavior. Maybe this is where nature versus nurture comes in. Maybe we should get Dr. Lewis on board.
Raspberry says generational curse.
Well, yeah, I thought about that.
I mean, my goodness, congratulations, new members. Santa Carol is here again. Get your umbrellas. It's raining memberships. How the hell can this happen?
Well, he said ish. He said ish. He didn't say yes. He said ish. So along the way, somewhere, there's a crooked stick and somebody's swallowing the crooked stick. I don't know. I would dare to say, if you looked at the background of the mom and dad, there might be some violence there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't prove it. I'm not there. Like you say, I'm not there.
I'm not there. Sweet Insanity said Dr. Lewis thinks they're A-okay.
She'll blow him kisses.
Dr. Lewis would be like, come on, come to me. Come to mama.
Oh, Lord
I've
have
got a
mercy.
yellow polo for you in a stairwell.
Sheesh.
Come on.
I mean, I watched that thing that she did. She thinks nobody's crazy and she doesn't believe in evil. So this may be a generational curse, just pure evil coming out. You know what I mean?
Well, if they let this one out, he's going to kill somebody. He's going to kill somebody.
Oh, yeah. And then he'll kill himself.
Mark my words. If they let him out, if they let Cody McFadden out, he's going to kill somebody.
Totally agree. Totally agree.
I'll say it's always a blend of nature and nurture in situations. And clearly there's a lot of nature in here too, because lightning very rarely strikes twice to that degree genetically, but it couldn't happen. But definitely there's a lot of behaviors, and both these individuals have what I call reps. They had a lot of early reps in life and started with animal cruelty, most likely, and started to abuse them. And they just kept escalating throughout their lives. And when you start feeding on that, and you're in a community that's feeding on that, and like I just learned on your show tonight, that there's a lot of other child offenders in the area, that is just a really bad situation where people are feeling safe to do really heinous crimes. And so that makes a recipe for disaster as well.
And that information came to us from the lawyer for Ivy Webster's parents. Ivy Webster, one of the sleepover children who had come for a slumber party and ended up murdered along with 6 others. The other question I have for you is it so far off to think that Cody may have engaged in any of the same criminal activities as his brother, given the fact that there was so much opportunity for Cody, who lived just around the corner and at one point lived in his mother's house with his brother when they were adults, so much opportunity for criminal behavior right inside that sickening farmhouse. Is it a stretch to think that maybe Cody might be involved as well?
I don't think it's a stretch at all. I mean, it makes sense. You have time and space overlaps. You have modus of life overlaps. They have very similar violent backgrounds. And so right now, and I love the fact that your last guest said one of the things the FBI does really well is the child protection task force that we have. And that is, they come in and they can start drawing linkages through data online, through the dark web, all these things to start spreading this net out to kind of figure out who's who, who's doing what, find victims and find the perpetrators more than anything, because they're out there. We have an opportunity here, if handled well,
Robin,
to do that.
Wouldn't it be nice?
Let your guest talk, Beishfield. Kiki said it sounds like Leilani's family. You see, when you have someone like a Billy Joe Howell or the McFadden family, the way you raise them is the way you turn them into the world.
Yep.
Okay, you can have a bad seed. Look at Tommy Boswell. Megan's a bad seed. His other kids are doing great.
I think Megan takes after the mama.
Well, she damn sure does. But it's like that. You've got 2 murderers in your family, in Billy Joe Howell's family. If she's going by that name anymore, I don't know.
Crazy.
And then you have this family. And we're not talking about just a little bit of drugs or anything. We're talking about animal torture. We're talking about peanut butter.
Typical serial killers.
We're talking about serial killers. We're talking about, we're talking about jumper cables, dog cages.
Mm-mm. I can't. Just makes you want to take care of them all by yourself.
Yeah.
Would it be nice if we could announce to that community that the Oklahoma State authorities, the Sheriff's Department, the FBI, they need your help. If you think you may have been abused by this person, we need your help to find others. Nope, they won't speak to us at all. They won't even tell us what they took from the house. I think they're covering their butts in the worst way at this point. And it's shameful to see what's transpiring in this awful, awful case. Robin Drake, this is not the last time we're going to talk. We're learning new things every day. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Oh, hell. She almost said awful, awful state instead of case.
That's what I thought too. I was like, wow, did she really?
No, Beigefield. Let me tell you something right now. I understand that you don't want to pick up and buy any property down in Mulkey County right now, Beigefield, but you're not going to judge the whole state by these sickos.
No, because there's a lot of
Just like we don't judge New York, just like we don't judge Connecticut, just like we don't judge Florida, just like we don't judge Idaho, just like we don't judge, well, California, sometimes we do.
I was gonna say
We don't judge. But she
No.
almost said state.
Yeah, she did. I caught it and I was like, oh my God.
And Oklahoma is like the only state that you can't really classify it. I mean, we're in the West. We're right above Texas. So people say that we're in the South. We're not the Midwest because we're not up there. So
y'all are still country enough for me, and that's all I care about.
So get off my ass, basically.
You know,
get off of it.
She's like, oh my God, I can't believe that. She did literally catch herself at the last second.
Bitch. Gina says, I'm in Connecticut, judge away. I think your state is beautiful, by the way. I love Connecticut. My husband and I went to a casino there one time. What was it called? I'd have to ask him. I've got some pictures. It was a lot of fun. Tiffany said Beigefield is pissed. Yeah.
I don't know.
Raspberry said we're central and country. So we only have a few like towns, if you want to call them that. We have like 2 cities, Oklahoma City and Tulsa. Like you're in Georgia, Atlanta takes up the whole damn state. But I mean, everything here is rural. So when I heard her last week saying it takes a long time to get there, and I'm like, that's Oklahoma. It takes a long time to get anywhere in Oklahoma.
Well, the thing about Georgia is now Atlanta took over what Hollywood didn't want. And then up north here where I live, now Hollywood's moving in on us. And it's making it it's not where I grew up. I'll put it that way. It's a lot different. A lot of people, out of towners, have moved in where it used to be you knew everybody in your community. Not anymore. And I really hate that. My husband says, well, where do you want to move? I'm like, I don't know. Maybe Wyoming.
That's what Slim says you can't get no further southern than Florida. That's the truth. That is the truth. And I love me some Florida. Don't get me going.
I just got back. I can't wait to go back again. My son lives there.
I was hoping that my son would get stationed in Florida. And he chose San Antonio. He's been in the Air Force since 2012.
San Antonio is a good place.
It's gorgeous.
Force as well. And he decided that when he got out, he wanted to continue to do the work he was doing. So he still gets deployed and goes back over to Kazakhstan. Is that how you say it? And does his thing. He flies drones, but they taught him how to do it in the Air Force. Now he's a contractor. My dad retired Navy and then he retired Air Force. So go Air Force, in my opinion.
Extra AF says Beigefield needs a teleprompter. She doesn't do well with off-the-cuff commentary and questions. No, she's no Howard Stern, but she's trying. Texaholic says San Antonio has the best Tex-Mex food. Yes, next to Casa Grande, Arizona. The best Mexican food I have ever had in my life was in Casa Grande, Arizona. What it was to die for. Tamara says, Brooks, we can still go for 2 weeks. Stay in the summer in San Antonio. I'm with you, Tamara. And I'm going to make your shirts this weekend too. They're going to be on the way. Anybody that wants any Crime Lines and Lies merchandise, send me an email. Send me an email. You won't get it fast. It normally takes a week.
Okay. Well, I know I've taken up a lot of your time this morning, Brooks, and I generally don't hop on here, but this case just has me baffled. And I just wanted to talk to you about your take on it.
Well, anytime, girlfriend. Anytime, girlfriend. Whatever, anytime you want to come up. I mean, the link, I keep pretty much an open panel all the time. Anybody wants to come up, they can. Now, if you want to sit here and tell me about your childhood from birth to age of 70, I might have to cut you off. But other
Right. Well, I just knew I could pump your brain for what you knew being a local. So that's what I did.
And I love it. You are welcome anytime. I love having good conversation. All of you guys, but I'm going to look at this really quick. Beigefeld looks really confused right now.
Mm-hmm.
She said, Jesse McFadden, monster in sheep's clothing. Oh. Let's see what she's going to say.
The interview with Holly's aunt Lynn last night, who told us that she herself lifted floorboards and discovered bloody toddler clothing, blood that got on her. Fresh enough that it actually got on her and that she had to get it cleaned off. The police had to help her clean it off. That happened. She said that the police reached out to her and told her not to talk to the media, that we are not her friend. That is what the police told this grieving family member, not to talk to the media. We are not their friend. And just so that we are all clear, friends here, okay? Just so we're all clear, the only reason that they were there is because those family members called the press. They called the press and said, please come with us and show this, put it out there. And that's what we did. And wouldn't you know it, state authorities came back, processed the scene again. But we're not their friends, right? We're not the family members' friends. This is what the police actually told family members. So I want to know, what is it? What is it that the police are trying to hide here other than covering their asses for what?
She said asses. They're covering their asses. No, they don't talk to you. They don't talk to you because they don't share case files. You see, this could have been rocking and rolling the whole time. Right. But since, you decide to go into the house and you take things that they might have been planning on taking anyway, see, you don't know. You don't know.
I'm so confused.
I just heard Beigefeld cuss.
And I did too.
I'll tell you something right now. She has kept that spray tan going good. Every time I get one, they wash right off. So
mine too.
She's got something going on, because I know that she would never get into a tanning bed. No way. Her dermatologist wouldn't allow it. I got to hear that again.
And show this, put it out there. And that's what we did. And wouldn't you know it, state authorities came back, processed the scene again. But we're not their friends, right? We're not the family members' friends. This is what the police actually told family members. So I want to know, what is it? What is it that the police are trying to hide here other than covering their asses for what they didn't do before? That's what I'd like to know. In the meantime, I want to bring in Chris Swecker. He is the former assistant director of the FBI Criminal Investigations Unit. Chris, pardon me for being so bloody angry, but to see not only potential unknown victims treated this way, right? Nothing to see here, not going to collect any blankets, not going to collect DNA, hard drives, naked pictures of babies and children, bloody clothing. We're not going to collect any of it. There's nothing to see here. Really, what's the point was what the families were told. Not only are they not going to satisfy potential victims out there and give them closure, they're also not satisfying the story for these poor grieving parents who know that their children were killed on that ranch. I am at a loss to explain this, Chris. Please help me get off the ledge.
No, I don't think I can. I served in Oklahoma City, one of my first offices in the FBI. There are a lot of professional police departments there, but this isn't one of them. I mean, everything I've read and heard about this case just points to gross professional negligence and just maybe even ignorance. I mean, I just, it's astounding. You know, anybody in law enforcement would recognize this as a potential internet predator. They've been around for a long time, and they get on cell phones and they get on computers and they make contacts through contacts. So they use children and other children to get them in contact with other children, and they do horrible things. And I'll tell you this,
and Chris, if he was capable of putting a bullet in the head of 5 kids.
Sarah said, I cracked up when she said that. No, Sarah, I am not shaming women. I don't body shame people. I actually respect her spray tan. But the thing is, the press is no one's friend, and your First Amendment is that, and your vote is more powerful than a bullet. So get that straight. So when she is so damn ridiculous, yeah, I'm going to call it out. Have you seen me with some of these other news anchors? Sarah said, not you, Brooks.
Kids and his own wife. Why should these police not think, dear God, it is so possible there were other children killed here, other people, other victims killed here who were restrained to these filthy mattresses on the floor, who might be depicted in some of those pictures they didn't bother to find. And can I also tell you, one of the officers in the second go round, when the police came back, Aunt Lynn was in the house and moved a dresser and found Velcro restraints attached to the back of the dresser. She pointed it out to the officer that was there and said, you should take these. And the officer said, nope, you can toss them out unless you want to take them home yourself. Those were the words she said the officer actually used to her. This, as she also discovered a phone with a Panda wallet. I think we have a picture of it. I want to ask our control room to put that phone up. It's the kind of little Panda wallet on the back of a phone that you would likely only see with a young or teenage girl. There it is right.
Yes, it looks like the cell phone of a child. And I want everyone to brace themselves. Everyone to brace themselves. This picture was sent to me. And I guarantee it wasn't one of you in chat. It was not Brown Eyes Blue here on
No, not me.
That sent me this picture and said, do you know if Andrew Hiltz in Henryetta?
Oh my God.
And I said, but I thought you lived there. Why can't you go down and check? You think I'm going to take him out for chicken fried steak?
That's Andrew Hiltz. Is that what's his name's dad?
That's Hunter's dad. You think
Hunter. I could.
Loversville, New York, down to meet these freaks in Henryetta? Come on, Days of Our Lives has got to come back on the TV, so some people quit thinking too much.
That's like.
I'm like, no, Andrew Hiltz was not in the house, and they're like, it's the same phone he has. I'm like. Okay, the Panda
probably
is
thousands of them.
Yeah, the Panda is one of their symbols, okay?
Oh, a pedophile symbol? Was I supposed to say that? I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine. But I'm like, you didn't say anything. But I'm like, oh my God. No.
I've never heard such a thing.
No, Andrew Hiltz was not there.
I wouldn't think so.
But no, I do. I mean, I appreciate people, when they reach out and, all I can say is I just didn't.
But it wasn't me, I promise.
Wasn't you? No.
There. A little phone with a Panda wallet on the back. That was found that the police had never found. And at this point, I'm wondering if there's so much compromised evidence in this house that even if there may be other perpetrators, other men who use this location in collusion with Jesse McFadden, how are we going to prosecute them now that the police didn't bother to collect it and the families had to?
Well, I'm shocked that the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation wasn't working on this from day one with that many, a multiple mass homicide involving children with internet, obvious internet. This is a lair of an internet predator and an in-person predator. Whenever you have an internet predator, you have someone who is exploiting children in person as well. And they're often networked, as you pointed out, Ashley. There's high potential for other victims. That should have been recognized the second they walked into that crime scene. If they were a detective or they had any professional law enforcement acumen or experience at all. I mean, this is very bad. I hope that they're getting the FBI involved, because this is what they do. They have entire units devoted to this type of thing. They know how to exploit computer and electronic evidence. I can criticize them in some areas, but not in this area. They're very good. And they should have called them in from day one. But
well, we haven't seen any jackets with FBI. We haven't. The thing that worries the families, Chris, the thing that worries the fam. Sorry, we have a delay, but the thing that's worrying the families is that they believe that their daughter's rapes may already be online and they don't even know about it. So we're going to have to continue to follow this, and hopefully when we do see some FBI presence on this, maybe we will get some of that resolution that you're talking about. But I'm as distressed, if not more than you, about this. Chris Wecker, thank you as always for your expertise.
Thank you.
Wow. Well, I mean, because Beigefield hasn't seen any FBI jackets doesn't mean they're not there.
No. It's warm there, right?
Yeah.
So why would they be wearing jackets? I mean, I thought they wore jackets when it was cold. Or is it a necessary thing for the FBI to wear FBI jackets all the time? I don't know. I don't deal with the FBI.
I don't know. I mean, it's 85 here right now. I wouldn't be wearing a jacket.
Oh, man, I need to be there because I'm so sick of cold.
I mean, what are you, chicken? Chickens don't know how to come out of the rain. You don't wear jackets out in the heat.
Exactly. That's what that was what I was asking. Is it something that just happens when you're an FBI agent? It doesn't matter if it's warm. This case is just beyond me. And Banfield's going to exploit the heck out of it. And I don't know when she became that way, but I'm sorry for her.
Well, she's actually just doing her job. And I mean, I will say this.
No.
News Nation is actually keeping these cases out there because, like I said, the Today Show, they're talking about Putin, COVID, and the coronation.
Well, yeah.
Who gives a shit about the coronation? I don't live there.
I don't care about it either.
It doesn't have to do with me. I pay taxes here.
I don't know why everybody thinks we want to know about that. I don't know. I don't get it, but
I mean, no offense, but I will say that I love seeing the kids of Will and Kate's. They're
yeah, they're precious, but that's different. I mean, and I'm glad that they are keeping these cases alive, but sometimes the way that the reporting is done just aggravates me just a little bit. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I get aggravated easily. I don't know. I don't know.
Angel said, I live there and F the coronation, he a mug. I'll tell you, nothing's funnier than when people come in from other countries talking about their country going, yeah, screw that.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. But I thank you so much for having me on panel today, Brooks. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Anytime, sweetheart, anytime. I will see you on the next one, okay?
You sure will. Thanks, sweetie.
Let's have a warm round of applause for our friend Brown Eyes Blue. And, remember when the link is up, grab it, come up and talk. This was a longer show than I planned for it to be, but there's a lot going on. I'm afraid to even check the news. Like, our news is going to be on in about 30 minutes. And, who knows what they've uncovered? Gina said, respect the spray tan. Exactly, Gina. And Gina, it was the Mohegan Sun we went to. She wasn't sure which one we went to. Mohegan Sun is what it was called. All right, you guys are the absolute best. Several people have reached out and they're like, "Are you still going to continue to cover trials?" Absolutely. If there's a trial that you want to cover, I will. The next one I figure we have coming up is Sarah Boone, Crazy Sarah. Um, but if there's one that catches your eye in between and I can get it without getting violated by YouTube, then I will. But yeah, let me know. Anytime, anytime you want. And whatever you guys want to talk about, you let me know because you guys are the channel. I'm not the channel. You guys are the channel. So on that note, I hope you have a tremendous day and I will see you back here tomorrow morning. Thank you. Thank you for keeping it real, having common sense. Thank you for the amazing comments. And being my friend. I'll see you tomorrow.